Mortal Kombat 1 is finally here, and the Nintendo Switch version is absolutely dreadful, so don't play it on the Nintendo Switch. But I also played this game on the PS5, and you're not coming to this channel for some guy that's mad about fighting games, that analyzes frame data, knows all the combos. What you're coming to for this review is a casual single-player review of Mortal Kombat 1, just like I did with Street Fighter 6. While Street Fighter 6's single-player suite was pretty lackluster, that World Tour mode was absolutely dreadful. Mortal Kombat 1 is the complete opposite because it gives you absolutely loads to do. It gives you an amazing story, and it also gives you the invasion mode, which I played the introduction board and then the first board. And I have a lot of thoughts on invasion mode. I've heard some people really like it, but me personally, I'm not really too big a fan of it. So of course we'll have to start with the story. And if you've played a Mortal Kombat story since Mortal Kombat 9, you'll understand what you're going to get here. A, you're going to get really good voice acting apart from Megan Fox. I've heard, again, mixed opinions on Megan Fox's performance here, and she's definitely the worst of the cast, but you're going to get amazing voice acting. You're going to get absolutely brilliantly animated cutscenes, and then you're also going to get some good fights where you're kind of introduced to all the different characters. Now, when it comes to these stories, I don't think you're coming to them for like an absolutely unbelievable plot or like really deep characters. What you're coming for is almost like an action movie, where you have some entertaining dialogue, but then you also have some absolutely brilliantly choreographed fight scenes. And then you have a couple of small kind of heart-to-heart moments that are nice, but ultimately you're just there to watch people get kicked and thrown and punched and blown up and set on fire. And you know what? That's fine, because this story from start to finish is just pure entertainment. Basically, it's a timeline reset, and now Liu Kang is one of the gods, and he's kind of leading everyone forward. Like, Raiden is now just like a lowly student. He's no longer Raiden. And then even characters like Shang Tsung, who were previously like crazy warlocks that were just destroying the world, are kind of low-life sort of peasants, and they're just selling stuff. And what I really enjoyed about this story is that everything was flipped on its head. I have a general knowledge of the Mortal Kombat series, and I kind of like understand certain things about characters, but every single time I met a new character, it kind of, begged the question. It was like, why is Shao Kahn not Shao Kahn? Why is he called General Shao now? And there's just loads of different characters that you meet, and each time you meet them, you're like, they're slightly different. I wonder why. Like, why are they good and why are they bad? And ultimately, that was like the thing in the story that really kind of brought me in. And I think in a long-running franchise like this, even though I'm not like a massive fan of it and I haven't played all the games and I don't fully understand the story, it's nice to just kind of flip things on their head and kind of have me asking questions instead of me kind of already knowing the backstory to the characters. And yeah, it's just a super high quality story. As I was saying, they are slightly formulaic. I mean, this feels like Mortal Kombat 9 story or Mortal Kombat 10 story. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because it's still really good, and it's not like we get these stories so often. Like, since 2011, we've had Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat 10, Mortal Kombat 11, and now Mortal Kombat 1. So it's not like, it's an annualized thing where you're getting them all the time. So the story took maybe 4 or 5 hours to beat, and I definitely found it easier than Mortal Kombat 9, which I did review. I'm definitely getting better at Mortal Kombat. Like, I'm starting to learn combos. I'm starting to learn how to launch people into the air. And that brings me on to the tutorial system in this game, because it genuinely is fantastic. Just like Street Fighter 6 earlier on the year, I'm actually getting into this game. I'm starting to learn characters. I want to play multiplayer, and I do play a bit of multiplayer. And no joke, there was one time I played against a guy who was playing Smoke, and I just put the controller down. I couldn't do anything. I just let him beat me, put the controller down, moved on to the next. But the tutorial system is fantastic because it teaches you everything from the basics of how to defend or the basics of how to attack, all the way up to stringing these combos. And when it came to doing the combos tutorials, it took me a while, because to complete the tutorial, obviously you have to complete what it's asking you to do and then move on to the next one. And when you're stringing together forward, X, triangle, launch them up into the air, jump, do a combo, and then do an ability, and then drop and do another ability, I'm like, oh my god, how do people do this? And then that just makes it even more impressive when I do play against these really good players online, because that guy that I was talking about who was playing Smoke, I'm like, how is his brain working right now? Like, I play Rocket League. Rocket League is a very intensive game with your fingers and moving and flip resets and all that. But I'm looking at this, I don't know how they do it. But the tutorial system really sets you up if you do want to learn, because there's so many different mechanics. I didn't even realize that there was an aerial mechanic in this game. I never thought that you'd be able to launch people up into the air and then start comboing them. But the tutorial teaches you that. It also teaches you different things like how to do a delayed get up, which is really important. And then it also teaches you the fundamentals of defense, which by watching YouTube videos I've learned that defense is probably one of the most important things you can learn in this game, because obviously people want to go ahead and learn, oh, this combo and string this into this. But at the end of the day, if you can't defend yourself, then you're gonna fail. So that's what I've been learning, and the tutorial system, again, brilliant. And then as for the rest of the single player stuff, obviously you just have the 1v1 matches on the tower, which is fine. Then you get into the invasion mode, and this mode is interesting. So basically it's a board game. You move from tile to tile, and in between the tiles you can get random encounters which, you know, can ambush you with an enemy or can give you like super cool loot that you find. But every single node is either a shop or it's a forge where you can craft stuff, or it's a battle. And the battles are set up like, you know, you'll be fighting a student, but the student really is Raiden, and it's just like a generic Raiden, and he has the same abilities. But then there's also like different prefixes that you get going into these battles. So, you know, there might be some weird portal that teleports swords in on top of you, or something that slows down time that just randomly pops up. And they do a good job to kind of vary it up. But so far, I'm not really compelled by this, because it just seems pretty basic and bored. There's RPG mechanics where you actually level up and then you can input stats into each character, which is cool. But there's just something about this mode that isn't really clicking with me. I've finished this starting board and the first board, but I'm honestly bored, pardon the pun, because there's so much downtime in between these battles. And then sometimes when you get into the battles, they're actually difficult and they're fun. But then other times they're just cakewalks and I just do the same combos. Like I'm playing Scorpion, that's a character I'm trying to learn. And I have a launch combo where it's forward circle up into the air, and then I have a combo that like I do mid-air. But that's all I really need to do to beat them. There's a couple of battles that I kind of struggled on, but they're not overly difficult. I think, honestly, if I gave this mode a bit more time, I might end up enjoying it more, but it really isn't a good first impression. Like, these first two boards maybe take 2 hours or something, but it is very slow and it just isn't hooking me, you know. I kind of wish it was, because again, I'm here for the single player stuff, but I am actually, you know, trying to learn and get good at playing online. And what I will say is that this is a good mode to test out different characters, because you can change characters on the fly, and I'm using it as a way to sort of play a Scorpion and learn new combos while also accomplishing something, because they do give you good rewards. Like, you get coins and you get season pass rewards, and you're also getting like cosmetics and different like skins for characters and different palette swaps, which is nice. I'm not really too big on all that sort of, you know, different skins and different palette swaps, and yeah, it's nice to be rewarded for playing the game. I'll never complain about that, but it's not enough. I don't care about the characters enough myself, since I'm not a massive Mortal Kombat fan to want to get all these cool skins. But it's nice to have there, and you do feel constantly rewarded. And then finally, when it comes to playing the different characters, each character has their own sort of season pass, I guess. You don't have to pay any money for it. It just rewards you for using the characters, which again is nice. I think ultimately, as sound as the mechanics are in the game, as gorgeous as this game is, as full-fledged it is with how many different modes you have, one thing about this game is that you are constantly rewarded. When you play the story, you get different cosmetics for characters, you unlock new brutalities, you unlock new fatalities as you use the characters, and then you start to get obviously more cosmetics, and then you can customize the character to your liking, which is really good. But every single mode gives you something, whether if it's only coins that are used to buy random drops, or if you're using the character to level them up so then you get a new brutality or a new fatality. So it just has a nice reward loop, because when I look back on a game that I have thousands of hours in, like Rocket League, the thing that kept me coming back to Rocket League ultimately was that the game was so mechanically good that I wanted to get better. And Mortal Kombat 1 has that. But then also behind that, I was getting, you know, like loot boxes to get new wheels and new cars and new skins, which is always just a nice bonus to sort of, you know, reward you for playing the game. And it's not like overly annoying, like it's not in your face, and some of the skins do look cool, I will give them that. So I really recommend this game. I mean, ultimately, when I buy Mortal Kombat games, I buy them for the story, and a lot of them I wait for a sale or wait until after, but there was games like Mortal Kombat 9 that I bought at full price just for the story, and then I dipped in and out, played a couple of bits, and then left it, and I was fine with that. But this game is super high quality. This is probably one of the... It's honestly an absolutely gorgeous game. Like, when you play as Liu Kang, and he sends out his fireballs, because they're like red and blue fire. It's like fire and lightning at the same time. It just looks absolutely stunning, this game. Some of the stages in this game are just phenomenal. Yeah, it's just a super, super high quality game. And I can't wait to play more. I think in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to do a review discussion with Jake, who was a big fighting fan. He really likes Mortal Kombat, so there'll be more to talk about there, sort of in depth. So yeah, as a single player experience, I think there's a lot here to enjoy. While I don't enjoy the invasion mode, I know I have heard of a lot of people that do enjoy the invasion mode, which is great. So I could just be on the outskirts here, which, I mean, if it looks interesting to you, then it gives you a stupid amount of content, and they're saying they're going to update it with new seasons. I don't know how often, but there's going to be new seasons with loads more content, which, if you do like that mode, that's just great. The single player mode, like the story mode, it's short. It's maybe 3 to 5 hours ish, but it's super high quality. And then obviously you just have the other single player stuff, like the towers where you're just fighting against people, and then local co-op. And then obviously, if you like multiplayer, it has a multiplayer suite, a ranked and a normal sort of King of the Hill. Well, it actually has a ranked mode, which is cool. It has 1v1 casual battles, but then it has a King of the Hill casual battle, which I haven't tested out yet because I'm going to get my ass handed to me. I'm not very good at multiplayer. I think I've won like 7 games. And there are games that I'm getting juggled, but I will persevere for as long as I can until I give up eventually, because fighting games are just so difficult. But I mean, I paid €70 for this game. I don't feel stung. I paid €60 for the Switch version now. That was through Game Explain. So, you know, there's a financial incentive to it. Do not buy this game on the Switch. Buy it on the PS5 or Xbox. Apparently the PC version is a bit weird as well from what I've heard. But yes, I really, really enjoy this game. And honestly, I can't wait to play more. I've been playing loads of it today. And once I record and edit this video together, I'm going to be playing more. And probably tomorrow I'm going to play more. So yeah, I'm hooked. So I really appreciate you watching. Let me know if you've played Mortal Kombat 1 down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe. See you all in the next video. Goodbye.